Hello, I'm Cllr Sharon Wilkinson from Burnley. I would like to invite you to come with me on a tour of education and culture in my corner of Lancashire. And passes through the picturesque village of Hurst Green. Here the world-renowned educational establishment of Stonyhurst College caters for pupils of all ages and from varied backgrounds. It is housed in buildings that are quite clearly centuries old. This is the entrance to Gawthorpe High School, Padiham. Gawthorpe was so named because the school stands within the grounds of Gawthorpe Hall, which was once the home of the Shuttleworth family. Not very far from Gawthorpe School is a much larger site where 3 schools and many acres of playing fields are to be abandoned when the buildings are demolished and the schools relocated. Habergham High and Ivy Bank are in close proximity to each other and are relatively modern buildings. These 2 schools have been merged to form Hamilton College. The 3rd school on the site is the former Girls' High School, which was a 6th form college but now temporarily hosts the pupils of Gawthorpe. This is an older building, but many would say a more handsome construction than its neighbours. However, this will not save it from the bulldozer. What is planned for this prime development site? Hamilton College will be located on this greenfield site, some miles away, on the edge of town, and on the opposite side of the main ring road, to all the residential areas it will be expected to serve. Which means that every child will need to cross 4 lanes of traffic at least twice a day, unless the parents drive them to school or they use public transport. The County Council are promising extravagant traffic calming measures that will inevitably lead to congestion, even without the extra traffic generated by the school run, particularly when this road also serves one of Burnley's largest and more busiest industrial areas. What doesn't make sense is why they want to put a school on the extreme edge of town. Surely it should be central to the area it will serve. Some Burnley councillors have objected to the sale of townly land to the County Council, and so an obstruction has been placed in the way of this development. However, none of the objectors have rejected the plans for the new schools in principle. The only objections are to the position of some of the proposed new buildings. In Burnley Town Hall, only the British National Party have consistently opposed this entire concept. It is not a plan for the future. Fewer, larger schools, in many cases built on the periphery of town, will all require many more pupils to travel. They will travel longer distances to access their education. A high proportion of these journeys will be made by motorised transport, cars or buses. In an age concerned by global warming and carbon emissions, this concept for schools for the future will necessitate more and longer journeys, which will perpetuate and exacerbate the congestion that is caused by the school run. At a time when we should be planning for the future of rising fuel costs, we are to commission schools that are already obsolete. If the British National Party can recognise the folly in what is planned, then others must also be aware of the short-sightedness of this project. And, if as is likely this is true, we must ask, what is the real motive? We need look no further than the disturbances of 2001. Lord Clark arrived in Burnley and speculated as to what had caused the spasmodic and short-lived violent conflict. His blinkered and prejudiced assessment was that we did not willingly associate with others of a different race, and that this should be forced upon us, beginning with our schools. In the areas of Daneshouse and Stonyholm, where there is a greater concentration of ethnic minority peoples, there will be no secondary school. Bardon will be demolished to make way for a new 6th form centre. This will force all secondary school age students living in Daneshouse and Stonyholm to travel out of their areas to access their education. This of course ensures the ethnic minority percentage are forced to attend the new replacement secondary schools in line with the recommendations of Lord Tony Clark. After finishing secondary education, anyone continuing their studies at a 6th form centre will be required to travel into what is recognised as the Asian districts of Daneshouse and Stonyholm to attend the new Bardon Academy. On the face of it, for the promoters of multiculturalism, it would appear to be a neat arrangement. Asians are forced out of their comfort zone to mix with whites during their secondary education, and whites obliged to make a similar gesture when attending the sixth form. Will this plan work?